This channel is supported by my online fishing courses, and you can learn more and get significant discounts at saltstrong.com/Skinner. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. Oh, I love factory tours, so this one's a real treat. Steiger Craft's been making boats on Long Island for 49 years. Their boats are generally 21 to 31 feet, and they make absolutely beautiful sports fishermen boats, but commercial fishermen and baymen have favored these for decades. So we're going to get to see these start to finish, from 55-gallon drums of fiberglass to the finished product.
All right. So here's where our boats start, in a 55-gallon drum.
Yeah, the drum says Steiger Craft on it. Okay.
This is our layup shop. See, right now we're laying up a couple of holes and some deck molds. That's a hole that's been waxed, ready to be gel coated and laid up.
So yeah, I'd like to see a mold. I mean, because I've heard about this, but I don't get to see it.
Here's our hull mold. This looks like a 21 getting popped out of here. It's either yellow or white. Hard to tell right now, but it's got its initial gel coat and its initial layout. Everything we do is hand laid. We do nothing with chopper guns, nothing with machinery. It's all hand laid, so we get the highest quality.
All right, so am I looking at this is a hull?
This is a hull.
Okay.
Yep.
And a mold is?
Here's another hull.
Okay.
There's a mold.
Oh, so there's
it's a hull mold.
Oh, I see. You got it's in there.
See what they're doing here? They're prepping it. They've cleaned it. Now they're waxing it. They're getting it ready to spray gel coat, lay the initial layers of fiberglass, and then go in and do the buildup, and then it'll pop out of the mold.
Ah.
What you've got over here is a deck mold for one of our pilot houses. Obviously it's upside down, but it's been all laid up, and it'll be ready to pop. They pivot these, they pull them out with chain hoist, and then they get the parts out of them. So here's where it all starts. Every part for the boat starts in here, from a deck hatch cover to a trim tab, enclosed trim tab pocket covers. Everything gets, all the parts will get laid up in here. When they've got all the parts laid up, everything will roll out of here on dollies.
How long does it take for a boat to be made start to finish?
Start to finish, you're probably, depending on the boat, you're probably looking at 4 weeks.
Okay.
Here's some of our other hull molds. Here's a hull that's just recently been popped out.
So
you can see it has no stringer system in it yet. It has no transom in it yet. It is just a bare hold. Those little rings on the bottom, that's how we grab it with the chain hoist and pull it out of the mold. Right. So this basically has just come out of that shop, and it's waiting to go in the build shop. These are liner molds. Actually, these are liners that have already been popped. Those liners will go in the bow section of our pilot house boat. Our other molds is deck molds here. Fiberglass room where they'll cut all the parts of fiberglass that they'll need to lay up a boat. This is a stringer mold. All of our stringers are fiberglass.
Okay.
So this stringer mold gets cleaned, waxed, and I don't have one on here right now, but this will get fiberglassed. Then they'll pop the fiberglass stringer mold out, a fiberglass stringer out, and that whole fiberglass stringer will be placed inside the hull.
Okay, and at one time the stringers were wood, correct?
Okay, thanks.
At one point they were wood, correct? The stringers?
1989.
I was wondering when the switch was. Okay.
Yeah, on back here. We haven't had a wood stringer since 1990.
Okay.
But this is actually a stringer grid system that's on the mold. These haven't been popped yet. This will pop off and get put inside the hull.
That's your cap? Is that what they call that? Basically,
we call this our deck. Some people refer to the deck as the floor, but in our world, the deck is the top half of our hull.
Okay.
So we have a floor, we have a deck mold. This is a deck for a new 255 tournament. It actually was redesigned over the winter, one-piece back, larger live well. We changed the design of the front of the bow as well, a little bit more ergonomic, a little bit easier for people to get to the front. So let's go inside the build shop.
A 25 is going to be a hot boat.
This is a swim platform that we just popped out. We built our own swim platform. This is a boat that has been already foamed in and already glassed in the stringer system, and the stringer system is filled with foam as well. There's our rear fish box. Our gas tank is in. The real key thing about all our boats is no rigging is done until we're in the finished shop. That means anybody down the road that needs to change a wire, a pump, or anything can get to everything on our boat. And if you've ever, owned other boats and know what a nightmare it is to have to get to parts, we know that, and that's why we build them like this. But that is the inside. There's our transom. There's our transom pockets. We still use plywood in our transom. We feel it's still the best way to build a boat. Double marine ply, encapsulated, doesn't touch any of the ends. Our drain plug goes through the bottom of the boat, so it doesn't have a drain plug that goes through it. Separation in our trim tab pockets, and we give a lifetime hull warranty. So,
what size boat is this? What is this? A 20?
Bill, what is this? A 23?
It's a 21.
It's a 21.
21 Miami.
21 Miami. Okay.
The one up forward is a 25.5.
Oh, that's okay. So there's the deck mold for this boat. That will flip over.
Right.
And get put on top. There's one of our floors. There's a solid fiberglass floor on our boats. There's no wood anywhere. 255, similar to that 21. Getting ready for the liner mold we put in, which I don't see the liner in here. It'll still be outside. When these boats are put together, there's hull and deck putty or plexus that gets put down, the fiberglass floor gets put down, and then the fiberglass floor gets glassed into the hull. There's a whole laminate schedule there. So realistically, when these go together, it becomes like an I-beam. Everything strengthens everything else. Initially, these were all built commercially. So the commercial heritage is really still in these boats. They're built twice as heavy as they need to be. Hence a good ride and, a lifetime hull warranty. We don't do too much with that.
Okay, that's good.
All right, so from here, we roll out. Typically, we'll have a full boat put together on a dolly, and she runs up this runway. That forward shop is our finish shop. The first 3 bays are initial construction, where we're putting windows in, we're attaching the deck to the hull, and then the 3 bays ahead of that, that's where we do our finish on the boat before it rolls out the door. We had a 31 and a 21 gone this morning. Unfortunately, you wouldn't get to see that, but we're loaded back up again. This shot. This is where we do all our starboard work and all our custom work for the boats. We have a CNC router that all of our parts get cut on. Everything we build is exactly the same. We build all our own molds. This is a new stringer mold for our 255 tournament. We build all our own parts, even starboard or plywood, and any custom construction like this 31 that just left here, we did a lot of custom stuff on that. Everything will get done here. Gets cut out. Mike and Ed put everything together. We have another warehouse building in the back for anything extra that we have. We stockpile there. We build our own leaning posts. We build our own boxes. There's the big leaning post for the 255 ornament that we have up front. So we have control of everything that we do. It's a little bit easier to, go on a just-in-time construction method, and that's what we do. We have a production list. We file down a production list. Everybody has a piece of it. Everybody knows what needs to be built and when it needs to be built. So we don't have stuff laying around that we don't need.
Okay.
And that's the way we're able to get 2 boats a week out of the door. Sometimes 3. And we're shooting for all the time 3. So some of our methods are changing in order to meet a higher production level. Because we are...
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So all of that stuff gets done here, then we move forward. So the boat on the right just got rolled in last night. They cut the window holes for it already. They haven't attached the deck, but this is essentially, this is a great representation of how the boats roll up front from the back shop. So when they get here, the deck still has to be attached to the hull. They did cut the windows out on this boat, but there's still a little fiberglass work, there's some fitting, and other things that need to get done.
Hi. Cool.
This boat here, this 31, same thing. This just came up front. This is going to be a Chesapeake, so you see it's got the full back wall left in it. All of our boats, all of our deck molds come up or pull out of the mold like this, and then we cut them if it's a Miami, or if it's a half wall, or if it's a full wall. This boat, 31, this boat will be in this shop, in both of these shops, for probably 3 weeks.
Wow.
Typically, the other ones aren't, but the 31s, you know, this 31 here, Joey, this is one of your boats.
Yeah.
Ford. You know, we didn't put the bracket on yet, so in this stage, here's where we'll put the bracket on, the swim platform, the trim tab. That's where this finished stuff starts to finish up, the seating and other things. But the 31, which are very popular right now, they take us an extra 2 weeks. There's air conditioning, there's heat. We just delivered 2 of them with Seakeepers. So we have a little bit more time. But if you get like a 255 like this, that's your boat too, that's Campanelli. That boat will literally spend a week back to this end and a week up here, and then it'll be out the door. Here's a 21 Deep V.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we've been selling for the past bunch of years. The modified V, a little more compact, a little, you know, obviously draws less. More options as far as fishing goes. You know, we don't put a T-top on that boat. Sometimes we'll put an arch. There's a lot of different things you can do. 255 center. That's something that we redesigned the stringer system in it. We redesigned the deck layout. This is we're anticipating. Just a quick peek of this boat. This boat's going to be off the hook. We've made everything in this boat pretty much standard. You don't see it right now, but we've got a tremendous amount of tackle storage and leaning post, usable tackle storage. We have tackle storage in the transom. Plenty of room. We're offering a coffin box, a fish box in the floor. We have a full marine head in this boat. It also has a floor that covers it, so you have full storage. In front, the freeboard is real good. If you want to jump up, take a jump up in there.
Yeah, that's nice.
This particular one is getting the new Yamaha Helmmaster EX, which is all electric, no more hydraulic. So this will have fish point, drift point, and everything that goes along with the electric steering. Which is going to be available now on every boat.
So what is fish point and drift point? Can you describe those?
Fish point allows you, fish point is like spot lock.
That's what I was wondering, yeah.
With a single engine, you can have fish point and you can have drift point, but you can't have stay point. Stay point holds your heading and your position.
Okay.
This, with a single engine, it will only hold your position.
Oh,
so the boat's going to twist around. You deal with it. With 2 engines, you actually can keep the boat in one spot. Drift point allows you to pull up to a spot. The boat holds its heading and takes its natural drift. There's another setting in drift point that allows you to drift through waypoints.
Okay.
So if you had 5 waypoints along the way, it's going to allow you to drift through those waypoints, keeping the same heading that the boat is on.
And speed? What's the speed control on that?
You have 5 different speeds with the Yamaha, with the new EX. You can set it from low to high.
So it's like almost like having a trolling motor without having a trolling motor.
Yeah, and we're this actually, we're going to keep this boat for 2 months. We're going to run this boat up here, and we're going to try that stuff out and really, you know, get our feet wet with it and see how it works with the single. I'm very familiar with the Helmmaster with the multiple engines and the stuff they've had, but we haven't had any experience with this yet. So we're going to run this boat. We're going to run this boat a bunch and see how it is. I anticipate it being great. So I think it's going to be great. I run the Ming coat, so I'm going to have something.
To compare against, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So when we get to the point where these are finished, they basically roll out the front door. And then the dealers pick them up, or the transporters come and deliver them, and we're gone.
Wow.
You know, our goal every month is 2 boats a week. Sometimes we get 3, but we're looking, you know, our long-term goal is 3 boats a week every week.
Okay, thanks to the people at Steiger Craft for taking me around. And if you want to learn more about their boats, it's steigercraft.com. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe.